Folks, welcome back to the Cincinnati Razorback Room in beautiful Northwest Arkansas. Fall day, yes, 2 days before the 2015 World Series between the New York Mets and the Kansas City Royals. And we just finished, my son and I, Gentry, just finished playing the World Series. That's right, we did it. Took us a while, fun. He played the Mets, I played the Royals, managed it like the two managers, Collins and Yost, like we think that they would have done it. Didn't do anything stupid. Wade Davis didn't pitch 9 innings in one game. Liked to have done it, but didn't do it. And what a series it was. And I'm going to take you through a game by game. I'm going to tell you right now, some of you aren't going to be happy with the outcome, and some of you are. We've been doing the World Series now since 1985, every year before it comes out. Our predictions have been posted yearly on the Yahoo Group's website for Catico All-Star Baseball. Every year we post our results. We've been getting it right about 2/3 of the time or better. So paper is pretty accurate. This year, I'm going to tell you what. I didn't see this coming. I did not see what we've got coming. And I'm going to share it with you now. So kick back, enjoy, prepare to complain, prepare to cheer, prepare to go along. Going to show you cards, going to show you results on this edition of Spinner Baseball. All right, let me take you through the beginning here. We'll start with the lineup for the 2015 New York Mets. They have leading off, playing in the outfield, Curtis Granderson. Batting second, David Wright at third. Hitting third will be Daniel Murphy at second base. The cleanup hitter is going to be Cespedes in center field and left field sometimes. Duda will be fifth at first. Kadyr's going to DH for them. Darno's going to be the catcher. Hitting in the 8 hole will be Conforto. And batting ninth will be Wilmer Flores. All right, now let's take a look at the home team from Kansas City, the 2015 Kansas City Royals. And leading off for them will be Alcides Escobar. Hitting in the 2 hole, Ben Zobrist, the switch hitter. Third will be Lorenzo Cain. Hitting cleanup will be Eric Hosmer. Batting fifth is Kendrys Morales, the DH. 6th hole will be Mike Moustakas at third, and batting 7th, Sal Perez doing the catching. Hitting in the 8 hole, Alex Gordon out in left, and in the 9th hole, Alex Rios. The starting pitcher for the New York Mets will be Matt Harvey in Game 1, a 6-inning S6 TR rated with 3 big-time respins, but look at those outs. That K, that F, that G, he's going to be tough to beat. On the other side, for the Royals, it'll be Edison Volquez starting at home in Game 1. A good pitcher, a +2 a respin guy, and a very, very solid starting pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. All right, as the game began, the New York Mets jumped off to a quick lead, scored a couple of runs in the second inning after a hit batter and then a couple of base hits by the big boys, Cespedes and Duda. But then in the third inning, Darno comes up to bat, and this disc that you are looking at right now became a key factor in this World Series. Because after every time somebody gets hit by a pitch, you have to spin the injury disc to see if it does injure them. And if the first spin lands on that 1, somebody's hurt. Well, Darno was the second player to get hit, and we spun the disc and it landed on the 1. We then found out as we spun it again, the second result was a 6. The 6 means that this guy has an ankle problem and is now put on the disabled list. That means that Volquez fires in a pitch, hits Darno in the ankle, and virtually eliminates the New York Mets starting catcher and number 5-6 hole hitter for the remainder of the series. This guy will no longer be a factor. Travis Darno will no longer be a factor in this World Series. And Gentry, he was hot. And I said, son, that's baseball. Somebody gets hurt, somebody doesn't, but that's why we build the injury card into our game. And this injury card seemed to be a key factor in Game 1 as it progressed. Matt Harvey was cruising right along through the first 5 innings, just shutting down the Royals, using 1-2 respins here, making sure that the Royals didn't get anything on the board. And then all of a sudden this happens. The Royals come to bat, and they have these batters coming up with 1 respin each, and they're using them. Zobrist, respin, single. Kane, respin, double. Here comes followed by Hosmer. Hosmer doesn't need a respin. He walks, and all of a sudden you've got first and third, and then bang, here comes Kendrys Morales, hits another double, and then followed by a Moustakas sacrifice fly, and all of a sudden the score is 4-3, and it's a different ball game altogether. So into the ball game for d'Arnaud comes Plawecki, and Plawecki comes up in a key spot. Runners on second and third and can't deliver. d'Arnaud probably could have, but facing a guy like Ryan Madsen, who's got 4 respins on you and can pop those outs, and then coming right back with Kelvin Herrera in the 8th inning, and bang, and then it's a 1-run game. The Royals never panic. They bring in Wade Davis to hold the fort. No runs off those 3 guys. The Mets try to close it out with Familia, but the Royals get 2 guys on. Up comes Eric Hosmer with his respin still remaining. I'm sorry, Familia gets a H-. Hosmer gets an out, respins it, and then all of a sudden, bam, a 13, a single. Runners on second and third both score. Ball game is over. Game 1 goes to the Kansas City Royals, 5-4 on a walk-off hit by Eric Hosmer off of Familia. So let's move on to Game 2. Still at Kansas City, going to use the DH. None of the lineups have changed except for the Mets. They had to put in Plawecki, so he's hitting in the 9 hole. Everybody else just moved up a spot. They're going to start the Royals with Yordano Ventura, Ace Ventura as they want to call him. Pretty good card right there. No respins is key, but a 5-inning pitcher with that card going to spin it, that's good. But look at what he's got to face. This card right here is awesome. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's scary. Jacob deGrom, those thick lines is death to right-handers. Doesn't give up many home runs. That HW- comes into play for an entire game. That F and G, and that just sounds like exactly what it is. I'm telling you, and 4 respins on a 6-inning card. If this guy can get into the 6th and even through the 6th and into the 7th, the Mets bullpen can piecemeal it together and come back and actually do well. It's when they're extended is when they do badly, but deGrom is one of the guys that's there to keep that from happening. So early in this game, the Mets jump all over Ventura, Ace Ventura. Kadire hits a 3-run jack, and they never look back. Bright spot for the Royals in this game. Ben Zobrist, the acquisition at the trade deadline, picks up his 2nd home run in as many games. And even at a 7-3 score going into the 9th inning, Gentry's all worried because these Royals can put up a 5 spot in a heartbeat. And so he brings in Jeurys Familia to redeem himself from the previous day's disaster. And Familia retires the Royals in order in the 9th inning to pick up the kind of save. I'm going to call it a kind of save when it's 4 runs. And the Mets even up the series by taking Game 2 7-2. Wasn't 7-3, it was 7-2. Home runs by Kadire and Zobrist. Jacob deGrom pitches extremely well and gets the win. Ace Ventura gets blown up and takes the defeat for the Royals. Go to New York all tied at 1 game each. So the series moved back to New York, or to New York for the first time this season, and the starting pitcher for the Mets was Noah Syndergaard. A 5-inning pitcher rated with a great strikeout, tremendous power pitcher. A 1 respin helps him out a little bit, and he would be matching up against Johnny Cueto for the Royals, trying to get the Royals back on top in this series. Cueto, the midseason acquisition in a trade from the Reds. Powering the Mets with Syndergaard, and he did a tremendous job through 4 1/3 innings, but then they moved into the bullpen as he got tired, and Addison Reed just couldn't hold a lead, and he gave up a long bomb, and then the parade just started. Hansel Robles came in and couldn't control the bleeding, and he was followed by Bartolo Colon, the ageless wonder, and the Royals crushed them with home runs from Eric Hosmer, a long blast over the center field wall, just a tremendous shot, followed by Salvador Perez, who crushed a home run and two-run blast. Ben Zobrist hit his third home run in the third consecutive game, giving the Royals a win of 11-4. Lucas Duda, the portents of things to come, Lucas Duda did go deep, as did Jonas Cespedes, to make it a respectable 4 runs for the Mets, as the Royals turned out a winner in this game. With the final score of 11-4, just beating up on the hapless bullpen of the New York Mets back at their first home game of the World Series. In Game 4, it was going to be a tremendous contest for the Mets trying to get back into this. And the Mets were going to go up against Chris Young, a tremendous starter, big, tall, 6'10". Chris Young, a 4-inning starter is what it looked like, but still solid if he could get to the 5th inning in that vaunted bullpen. And the Mets would answer with Steven Matz. Young, barely a baby in the big leagues, but 4-0 with a 2.27 ERA going against this vaunted Royals offense. The hero of this game was Jonas Cespedes. Cespedes not only blasted a home run that gave the Mets a lead that they wouldn't relinquish, he also threw out the fleet-footed Jared Dyson at home plate to save the game for Steven Matz. Steven Matz did pick up a victory in this game, and it evened out the series. And once again, at 2-2, the Mets are back in it, with Kevin Plawecki also throwing a base runner out and getting a base hit in this game, filling in for D'Orneau. Once again, the final score in this one was 8-5. The Mets over the Royals, evening up the series at 2 games each. Game 5 is always a pivotal game, especially when it's 2-2. I mean, going into Game 6 as an elimination game is not something any team wants to do, and the winner of Game 5 would be putting their opponent in that situation, since the series was tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5 would be a rematch between Matt Harvey for the Mets and Edison Volquez for the Royals. It promised to be a tremendous matchup, but the difference this time would be that the pitchers would be batting instead of the DH. And the Royals sorely missed Kendrys Morales in this series in the 3 games in New York. The big hero in this game, Daniel Murphy, came through with a home run in this game. But even bigger than that, Kelly Johnson, he hit a home run also in this game, replacing the left fielder. But Lucas Duda this game was monstrous. He had a double and 2 home runs, led the team the whole way, and just was a monster in this game. Returning the favor from an earlier contest, the Mets went on to win this big time. But one of the real stars of this game was Matt Harvey. Matt Harvey in this game batted and had 2 hits, including a triple, and put the Mets on the board in his first at bat with the triple when he scored on a sacrifice fly. Final score in this game, 10-3, Mets over the Royals, going back to KC, now up 3 games to 2. The Royals felt really good getting back to Kansas City. They could now bring back for Game 6 Kendrys Morales, who, I'm telling you, much better hitter than a pitcher is. They missed him. He was an integral part of the team. Game 6 was going to be a rematch of Game 1 between Jacob deGrom and Yordano Ventura. And this game panned out real well. Very close ball game going into the 5th inning. And the 5th inning, deGrom gave up a ground ball, looked like a sure out, and it got kicked by Murphy. And after that, they had a double play ball hit right to the first baseman, and Duda kicked it, and it led to 2 runs, and it was the downfall of the New York Mets in Game 5. The bullpen once again stepped up huge for Kansas City as Kelvin Herrera stepped up and just shut down the Mets. And then Wade Davis came in and saved the game, evening up the series. Your final score in this game, 5-3 Royals over the Mets. And now we get to do what everybody really roots for the whole time. We get to play a Game 7. And oh yeah, we were excited. Here it comes, Game 7. And I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter who you are. You're always rooting for a Game 7. And I always want Game 7 to be good. I can remember the Minnesota-Atlanta Game 7. Oh man, John Smoltz, Jack Morris. This one we had Noah Syndergaard going for the Mets against, you got it, Johnny Cueto going for the Royals, and they paid big money to get this guy. They paid 3 prospects to the Reds to get this pitcher, Johnny Cueto, and here he was in Game 7. Not going to disappoint either. Cueto pitched masterfully. I'm going to tell you what, he pitched a great game. Going into the 3rd inning, no score, and then all of a sudden Conforto came up and popped a double. That led to a number 2 batter with 2 outs against Cueto, David Wright stepping into the box, and David Wright launched one into the left field seats for a 2-run shot, putting the Mets up 3 runs to none over the Royals. Royals made a valiant comeback, scratching and clawing for a couple of runs, pinch hitters, stolen bases, whatever that they could do. The Royals bullpen shut the Mets down for the final 6 innings of this ball game with 1 hit. That's right, they had 1 hit. And I'll tell you what, man, they did really, really well. Sal Perez came in and busted his 3rd homer of the game of the series in this game. Tremendous shot that put the Royals back to within 1 run, but it was just a shutdown effort by the bullpen of the Royals that kept the Royals in this game. And then here it was, the bottom of the 9th inning, the Royals trailing 3-2. Standing on second base was Mike Moustakas with 2 outs. Jeurys Familia is the pitcher coming into the ball game to save it, and he's facing the same guy that was up to bat last year with the tying run at 3rd, Sal Perez. And Sal Perez gets up, and I just can't describe it here, man. Jeurys Familia spins and then respins and gets the out. Ball game over. Game 7 in the books. Final score, Mets 3, Royals 2, and we have a final in the 2015 World Series. 3 games, 4 games, all won by starting pitchers for the New York Mets. 3 games all won by the bullpen for the Kansas City Royals. Again, final score in Game 7, 3-2, Mets. Well, told you it was going to be pretty good. I wasn't kidding. For the wrap-up, I need to put on my specs so I can read a little bit. And I'm going to read from my notes here. 5-4 Royals in Game 1 with a walk-off by Hosmer. Zobrist hit a homer. Davis the winning pitcher. Wade Davis with Familia getting the loss. The Mets came back in Game 2 like you saw, 7-2. DeGrom starting pitching just amazing. Kadire hitting a home run. Zobrist popped another one though. Game 3, 11-4. Royals beat the Mets. When they went back over there, Herrera coming in and then just beating up on the Mets bullpen. Zobrist a 3rd homer in 3 straight games. But Cespedes and Duda set the stage for what was to come, as I showed you there in Game 3. Beautiful stuff. Homers by each one of them. Game 4, the Mets beat them 8-5, with Mats getting a victory there, a needed victory at home, and evening the series up. Cespedes another home run. Hosmer hit a home run too little too late. Young just wasn't up to the task, and the Royals just took it on the chin. Game 5, the Mets clubbed them, beat the starting pitching up very badly. Edison Volquez just could not keep up with Matt Harvey. Harvey in that game, by the way, had 2 hits, including a triple, and scored a run. Kelly Johnson popped a homer. Murphy hit another home run like he would, but Duda popped 2 of them and just put the Royals away. And then the Royals came back in Game 6 and 5-3 to even the series up at 3 games each. Herrera getting the win, another bullpen win for the Royals. DeGrom taking it on the chin, trying to hang in there, valiantly doing it, but just not enough gas. Errors in the 6th inning cost the Mets dearly. Duda and Murphy kicking consecutive chances and giving the Royals their opportunity. And then Game 7, and you all saw what I did there in Game 7. Syndergaard and Cueto matched up, and what a pitcher's duel it was, using what they needed to use. Just amazing pitching by both of them. But that home run by David Wright just put him over the top. I mean, that was enough. And the Mets takes the series 4-3. For the Royals, Lorenzo Cain had 10 hits, hit .357. Zobrist had 10 hits, including 3 homers. And Sal Perez had 3 homers with 9 RBIs. Tremendous batting by those 3 guys. For the Mets, Murphy hit .367, had 1 homer, but he had 11 hits to lead everybody. Cespedes hit .290, had 3 homers and 10 ribbies. Duda hit .286 with 4 homers. Plawecki, because of the injury to d'Arnaud in Game 1, came in and threw 2 out of 3 base stealers for the Royals out. The Royals just didn't have that much opportunity to steal bases with their speedsters. It seemed like the bases were getting plugged up by the guys in front of them, like Gordon and Perez. They just didn't have the ability to get on with empty bases to do the stealing. We decided that our MVP was going to be Yoenis Cespedes with those home runs and those RBIs, 4 homers, just tremendous, plus 3 assists from left field and center field, just tremendous ball player. The Mets' 4 starters each had 1 victory during the series. The Royals' bullpen big 3 of Davis, Herrera, and the Philadelphia guy, I can't even remember the name. You heard me talk about him there earlier. Did 15 2/3 innings. Ryan Madsen, 15 2/3 innings, and not a single earned run did they give up. However, Edison Volquez, Yordando Ventura just got clubbed. And out of the bullpen, Morales just was not good enough. Neither was Hochevar. They just did not do the job. And the Mets just capitalized on it. 4-3 series, Mets champions. That's how we see it. That's what I predict this year is going to happen. 4-3, back at Kansas City. The Mets pop champagne in Kauffman Stadium. Hope you liked it. Have some fun. See you next time on Spinner Baseball.